What's up, guys? Welcome to the High Five Sports Ride.
I love it.
I
The
feel like
dramatic
I feel
pauses.
like I feel like that's kind of my go-to
That is
intro now. Just a little "What's up, guys?"
with
I
the
got
with the dramatic pauses and everything.
give them one of these.
The
Like
field
really,
goal
really
is
just like
good.
really just like bring everyone in and make them feel welcome.
I
Like
feel it.
we are one big family here
We are.
at the High
We
Five
are.
Sports Ride. You guys are a part of our show.
We're we're a ginormous family. We love our family, and we're looking to possibly expand our family.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh,
little
what,
foreshadowing.
what? Okay, first we just gotta just get this on the table. NCAA football
It's
is
back,
coming
y'all.
back. Are you kidding
It
me?
is,
This
dude.
was probably the best news I could have heard in I can't think of anything better I could hear.
I think I woke up to like 4 or 5 different messages on my phone of that. I will also say that Brooks messaged me that too, and I sent it to him without.
Listen, I sent this same thing to the group chat, and
And
literally
then I
like
sent
an
it
hour later he sends the same exact thing, like right below mine.
to
Didn't
my
even didn't even
defense.
read me.
To my defense, when I opened up the message to send it, it like was that time when it's like above the screen, so I would have had to scroll up to see it, and I was just
How
waking up,
how
so
didn't
like
like how didn't you see it though? Like it
I
should
don't
just
know.
pop up.
I don't know why I did that, but I promise you it did. But the you know what's really cool with that? Uh, I got a couple things. So they're not gonna call it NCAA football.
Hmm.
It's just gonna be college football, EA
Yep.
Sports college football. And like some people are kind of poo pooing on it already because they're like, oh, there's not gonna be the names and the likeness and all that stuff and blah blah. Blah. First of all, there never was. Like there, I guess you could kind of say there was the likeness, but like there never was. It was
Basically, they said
always
they were the same height and the same skin color. That's about it with the
yeah,
players. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
All it was either QB number 12 or whatever and all that stuff, or you could pick that you could auto generate the names. Like as simple as that. It's gonna be the same thing. But I also saw over here in a report that I'm seeing. I actually was looking at this article because I was reading that Barstool Sports. So when Big Cat started streaming NCAA football, when everything got shut down,
Hmm.
there's actually reports that like they're involved in it now. Like you know who Coach Doug's is that he had.
Yeah, yeah. No, I remember.
So
I watched a few of those. Yeah.
supposedly Coach Doug's is now the guy that's gonna like be the tutorial guy for you. And like El Presidente who runs Barstool, his dad is a lawyer and he's working with the people who are creating college football and like he's the lawyer for him and all that stuff. So like they're involved in it somehow.
I really like that actually because my biggest worry with the new college football game is that it's gonna be so tailored to kids. It's not gonna feel like the old games because you've played the new Maddens, right?
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
they feel really tailored to just the younger generations,
Yep.
and that's part of it why I haven't really enjoyed it just because I don't know, it doesn't really feel like they're like coming at an audience like me.
Oh, for sure. Right. I agree with that. But it
So if they're incorporating Barstool, I think
yeah,
I
like
think
it's
that's a
probably
good
not going to be
sign.
very
I like
kiddie.
that. Yeah.
And I read somewhere too that it's the CLC company is working to obtain the rights of all that. And it has the current college rules don't allow players to have their likeness and all that stuff. But like that's been an ongoing thing with the NCAA right now in general, and they really do believe that sometimes this year it's going to get resolved, and it's going to get resolved in favor of the players. So they said that if that happens before the game comes out, like they might be able to actually use their
And it
likenesses,
was never like it wasn't
likeness.
even a big deal for me to have the players in the game. Like
No,
it's just the school, the stadiums, the uniforms. That's all
yeah,
I want. And then people can even like upload their own rosters. Like people have been doing that in NCAA 14 like
yeah,
since the last game came out. Every you can download. You can download the 2021 rosters right
yep,
now. So as long as they have that ability, you're always going to be able to have a super realistic experience as long as you just have the teams
yep.
in there.
And you get to run through the coaching carousel. Like that's so much fun. Like I
Yeah.
just watched somebody the other day choose WSU, and I was like, "Ugh," but it's whatever. Yusuf, as of right now, they said that their rumors are that it's coming out this year, but they haven't knocked down a for sure
What
date yet.
I've read is that they're very early in the development. They don't even have a team yet. So
Yeah.
at earliest, I would say summer 2022 would be my guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's so funny because like you look at so many different articles that you don't know. Like
I'll send you over this
there's
ESPN one because the guy actually talked to someone from EA Sports. It kind of gives a
sweet,
little more details. But
cool,
after I read that, they are very early in the development of it, so it's going to be a little bit.
gotcha.
But
Yeah, I've also seen reports that like they're not very early in the development of it because they knew it was coming, so they were keeping up with it and
that
all that stuff.
too.
And like Cameron said that on Barstool, they've like been like making like little comments and stuff about NCAA football for the past like month or two. And he said even at one point in time, the intern Billy like said something about it, and the guy who like is their producer was like, Billy, stop, like Billy, we can't. And so like he was like, now that it came out that they are with it, and supposedly he said that ESPN tweeted like the Coach Doug's thing, like or
Yeah.
they retweeted or whatever, and so like it is real. And so like it kind of makes me think that they've been working on it for a little bit,
That's like
but
we don't know it all yet. This is still like just so vague
yeah,
because literally the only all the post said was like
we're back.
we're back pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't know a damn thing. And then
No,
but
not a clue.
but when I saw that morning, I saw one post from like a parody Sports Center account. I'm like, all right, this is another joke.
Right?
And then I saw another one that's like I looked up the EA Sports account. I'm like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
this
I didn't
is
even look
actually
up.
happening.
I didn't even look up EA Sports. I just saw Sports Center. The Sports Center Twitter tweeted it, and I was like, yep, there it is. Like
There it is.
that's
This
it.
is official.
That's
'Cause we-
solidified for me.
like the past like I swear like 5 years I've seen the April
Oh, yeah.
Fools. They make the same post every year. Like NCAA football's
Every
back.
year.
I'm like,
Every year.
stop playing with my head.
Yeah, and I saw, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, because when I was just looking before we got on, uh, I think it's called EA College Football has its own Twitter now too.
Yeah, and they've
Yeah.
Instagram and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah, they only have one post just saying like, hey, it was basically the we're back, and then they had a reply to it, and they're like, we appreciate all the love and all that stuff, blah blah. Like, we'll let you know more details when we have it and all that stuff, but make sure you go and follow that if you're really into it, so you can see updates that come directly from the source, obviously.
And I just got this adapter for my PS3 that I can start streaming NCAA 14 now.
Yes,
So if
dude.
y'all want to see me stream some classic NCAA 14,
Dude, you're gonna become an affiliate in like
we
a
can get it
day.
going. Do you think that there's that big of like a niche like on Twitch for that? There's a big like a big market.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Literally, people watch that like crazy. You'll go nuts. You'll be bigger than fire.
I'll be racking 100 viewers a night from the start, for sure.
Dude, oh dang it, I just exited out of that. But it said at one point in time when Doug's was at Tennessee, so the fake video character,
Mhm.
Doug's was at Tennessee when Big Cat was playing with him. He had 127. Oh, I almost said a million. 127,000
Oh, he was
viewers
getting a
watching.
lot. Yeah, that's crazy.
Like that's crazy, and he wasn't even good. Like he wasn't good playing
Oh,
it.
no.
He
He's
ran the
funny.
same plays all the time, but it was so funny with him and his squad behind
What
him.
school did
But
he end up at the end? Because I know he stopped eventually. Did he end at Tennessee?
I think he ended at Texas Tech or something like that, maybe.
I thought that was one of the early schools.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know. Tennessee might have been the last one. I know
Tennessee
he
might
went
have
to a
last one.
couple like small schools too.
Was he in
But-
Wazoo at one point?
He was like for like a year, and then he
Yeah.
was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, you can only handle Pullman for so long. Come on.
Only for so long before you have a constant hangover.
And just like you get sick of staring at the wheat fields all day.
Exactly. But I love
Good.
it. But yeah,
Also, on the topics of video games, congrats to Fernando Tatis
yes,
on being the new cover star.
yes. I'm hoping that they
Like
put a
MLB
whole lot of
show.
swag in the game now.
Oh, you can tell the cover is literally him
Yeah,
flipping the bat.
yeah.
That
I
is
mean, I
perfect.
I guess Javi was on it this year, and he's pretty swaggy too. But like,
is,
I
yeah.
mean, Tatis's whole game is just absolute. Like,
I think Tatis is more star power than Javi, honestly, too.
he does. He
Like,
definitely
Javi's
does
got
now.
swagger and stuff, but also Tatis is just better.
Yeah.
too.
And because Javi like has these big plays and all that stuff, but they're not as frequent. Like Tatis is like, wow, like every game I'm seeing something from him, kind of thing.
He's
so.
fun to watch, and I don't know if you're at the game when the Padres were here 2 years ago, but standing
was.
next, did you ever stand next to him
Yeah,
when he was like on deck?
he's a little bigger than you expect him to
He's
be.
huge.
Like
He's a
he was
freak.
he was probably like what, like 2-3 inches taller than I am, maybe.
Yeah, and like I think he's like 6'4", so I think he's around. No, like how tall are you? Like 6'2"?
I'm 6'2", yeah. So
I think he's like 6'4". I think he's around me, but he's just like looks like he can play football, man. Like he's
yeah,
big.
dude, I was like holy cow. Like the one that I was super shocked with standing next to was when the Yankees came to town and Aaron Judge was leading off and we were sitting there. Like I knew that dude was big, but it was literally like having to look up at the guy.
He's a monster.
I think I actually took a Snapchat, and I love it because every year it comes back in my memories and all
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff. And
perfect.
I just
Yeah.
like pulled it out and was like looking around real quick, like I was like trying to look for a text message or something.
Like take a
But
selfie. Like I think you're taking a
yeah,
selfie.
like oh man, I need to do. I got to see Bichette right next to me and stuff too. It was pretty cool, but Tatis like for what he can do, he's a lot bigger than you expect him to be.
Yeah,
Like he
he's an athlete. Like
he plays shortstop like he's like Derek Jeter size, but he's not even close. Like
and the
he's big.
and the MLB needs guys like that, man. Like they need some guys with swagger and star power to kind of just like I don't know. I feel like they're just like they lack those that like face of the league. Like
Yeah,
NFL has Lamar and Mahomes. NBA, you got like just like LeBron and
yep.
all those guys. I
And
mean,
it's always so tough when you have like the face is Mike Trout right now. Like Mike Trout is the like epitome of superstardom,
mhm.
but he's just so quiet and
And
so like doesn't have a lot of swag to him and all that kind of stuff. Like you can't really advertise that guy.
you can't. And that's the thing. Like I think you could go down like just a random street and like show a picture of Mike Trout to people, and I don't think half of them could even say who he is.
Right.
But you show them a picture of LeBron, that's probably a bad example, but another star like Kevin Durant. You show a
Yeah.
picture of Kevin Durant,
You're gonna get KD too, yeah.
more people are going to know who Kevin Durant is than Mike Trout probably.
Right. And I think it's just kind of like with Brady. He's by far probably one of the best quarterbacks ever in history and all that stuff. If he doesn't have as much hate thrown at him, I think that he's not known either because
Mm-hmm.
he's just like he doesn't do crazy. He doesn't do crazy interviews. He doesn't flash. He doesn't all that kind of stuff. Like a lot more people are gonna know who Cam Newton is than Tom Brady, like outside of the football world, just because Cam Newton's all over the social media with
Mm-hmm.
Poland and all that kind of stuff. Because he does that flashy stuff. Like Tatis is not only quite possibly in the next couple of years the best player in the league, but he's going to be the most entertaining player in the
Mm-hmm.
league too. Like and so I bet you Manfred's just sitting there just loving this. He's like, yes, 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 we're back, we're back, we're
He's
back.
fun. Yeah, he's so fun to watch, and the Padres are gonna be on TV all year this year, and
Oh yeah,
I have no problem with that because whenever I see the Padres on, I turn them on just because I know I'm gonna see something crazy that Tatis does. Like last
definitely.
year, I really turned on a game when I think they were playing the Astros, and I don't know if you remember this play when he made like I don't know, he had to run like 30 feet like into the
Over
outfield
his
and
shoulder.
made like over his shoulder. Yeah, do you remember seeing
Yeah.
that one?
Yeah, because I
Rob George
remember
Springer.
yeah,
Love it.
I
Love
remember
it.
sitting there going, why is the outfielder not catching that ball? He like wasn't anywhere near it, but Tatis just comes out of nowhere. He's just it's gonna be fun to watch him develop even more because like guys, he's only like 21 years old, right? 22.
22 maybe. Yeah,
Like
he's young.
he's good and it's nuts. Like he's gonna be basically another incarnation. He's like the infield King Griffey Jr.
I
Like
think like not only Tatis, but I think there's a big generation of these young
yeah,
superstars coming into baseball right now.
for sure, for sure. Like we got a couple possibly. If you haven't seen it, uh, Julio and Kelnick are right there, 4 and 5 in the prospect list. I think Kelnick's gonna be a little bit pumped because he got back over Julio. He's at the 4 spot and Julio's at the 5 spot. But like we've got a couple of young guns. We've got I think 6 in the top 100, which is super
Mm-hmm.
exciting to
Yeah,
see.
if you
They had
saw the post on the Instagram account,
they have George Kirby above or they have Emerson Hancock above Logan Gilbert, and I was a little bit skeptical about that. Hancock has absolutely no numbers with us yet
dude, Hancock was
because
honestly a steal at number 6. He
he
before he got hurt, he was projected to be number 1.
oh yeah,
That was a
absolute steal.
Yeah,
But like I don't think people understand how good Logan Gilbert has
he
looked
is.
so
Yeah,
far. And he shredded people up in spring training, the little bit that they got against actual MLB hitters, and he absolutely shredded our alternate site. Like granted, that's our alternate site. I get it. It's not the MLB, but like those are the guys that are on the brink and he shreds them.
and
So if
what's
he
weird is
shreds
that
them, like
all the scouts I'm reading about Gilbert, they're saying his ceiling is like a number 3 guy.
yeah,
That's like
it's
super interesting to
so
me
wrong.
because he just looks like he's got the body type of being a 1-2 guy, but
Yeah.
Hancock even more so, honestly. So
Yep.
if they're putting Hancock above Gilbert, I think it's a really really good sign.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
And we still have George Kirby. And they're really high on him too.
Kirby, I like Kirby a lot because his did you see his K to walk ratio like in college?
It's
It was insane.
phenomenal.
Like
It's
wasn't
phenomenal.
something crazy? Like he only walked like 10 people or something in college his
Yeah.
whole career.
Yep.
That's great.
Um,
That's huge.
Oh, he's free. Isaiah Campbell.
Campbell, yeah.
He was with George Kirby. He was that other first round draft pick with him because we had,
Then we get him late. I thought we got Campbell late second.
or was it second round? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So he was our second round
Yep.
draft pick that
Yep.
year with Kirby, and so many people like haven't even talked about him. He's the Arkansas kid, but like I'm excited about him. I've seen some video and stuff from him too in the offseason. It's going to be really interesting to see. But like you said, this youth surgence coming through.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be huge for MLB and baseball in general. And speaking on that, I was reading something that makes me a little bit nervous for the MLB in general though.
Mm-hmm.
Because so they proposed the 154 game season to the players, and the players turned it down. The main reason that they turned it down, it says here, is because it was 154 games, which is only 10 less games, but they were bumping everything back a month, which is 30 days. So there was a ton of double headers actually that everybody was going to have to play in their schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have guarantees that if the season continues to get trimmed down, that they would still get their pay. Now they had it set that if they got 154 games in, that they would get the 162 games pay, so they get their full salary. But they didn't have these like insurance policies basically for it, so the players just said no, and they're on track right now. So Manfred just said, okay, like screw that,
You guys are playing. Yeah.
we're playing, we're doing regular and all that stuff. But he did the same thing last year, right before the season. He decided to say, all right, we're not coming to an agreement. I'm going to say 60 games. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. And they said, so let's see, what are they saying? The bargaining agreement expires on December 1st of this year between the MLB and the MLBPA. And so they said that the more and more that these conversations go back and forth with each other and they're not accepting things, they're starting to think that it's more and more likely that there might be a 22 lockout.
Yeah. But I think it's good that they're not countering each other now. I think it's better. I think it's better just to postpone those talks until after the year, get through this. Probably there's gonna be cancellations and stuff because of COVID this year. So get through this crazy year one more time, and then just have a complete fresh start going in next year. You don't have to worry about shortening the season for any reason.
Yeah. And played exactly like you did last year. Have the 162 game season. Obviously that's way longer than it was last year. But whenever something happened and they had to delay a game or something like that, they just made it up with a double header sometime along the lines.
So
baseball.
You do that. You play double headers in baseball. It's so simple.
Right. And so if the players were worried about playing all these double headers and all that stuff, that is their motivation to not break COVID protocol and to go out and party and to go out and be with other people and all that stuff and to catch COVID in general. Because if you do it, you cost your team a game and now you're playing that double header. Like it's a direct consequence of it. So it's going to be more motivation for them not to do it. And I think there should be fines. Like, hey, if you break protocol and all that kind of stuff, I understand that
I think there was, right? I think like when Plesac like went out for was it Plesac for
there was
Cleveland.
There was
and Clevenger, right? Both of them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They were really suspended. I don't know if they were fined, but they were definitely suspended for like a week or something.
Yeah, and I think there was team ramifications that came down on them, but like I think there should be like a legit MLB. If you're the reason, if you test positive and we do an investigation on you and you broke protocol, you're fined right there. Like simple as that. And so that's going to be another reason for them not to. But then again, it's like I understand because sometimes like maybe some of those guys caught it because they're going to see their family. Like that's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Yusuf, the season pitchers and catchers report the 16th.
I got a picture of it right here. I'm going to pull it up so I know for sure. Yeah. 17th.
And then opening day is April. I think it's on April 1st this year, isn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing too in the spring training schedule or games, real games are scheduled to start on February 27th.
What's up, Doe? Thanks for stopping by. Yeah.
And we got the Padres in our first game
in spring, right?
Yeah. In the spring.
Matter. Come on. But yeah, we still have a ton of time until the regular season starts. So hopefully we just keep get those vaccines rolling out, man.
Yeah, I'm still confused on how it's taking so long.
It's just done in different states. Like it just.
I mean, have you seen how advanced our technology is in science?
Yeah.
I've literally watched movies and documentaries of like watching like these vials go through a conveyor belt and just mass amount of like drugs and all that stuff
Yeah.
like I don't understand how it's taking so long.
I
But
don't know.
I'm also not a
I can't even get into that because I'm not so
yeah.
uneducated on the
I'm
whole
not
on
I'm not a
all of
sci
that.
I'm not a scientist, so obviously there's a reason for it. But
If it was
I
me,
don't know,
I'd just like be like first come first serve. Come get in line. We'll give it to you. Once you run out,
right?
it is what it is. Because I don't know. Like we don't want to like go into like all this like,
Yeah, we're
but
not gonna get political, but
they're like throwing out like vaccines right now because they expire. So yeah, at least in Washington. But
I'll take an expired one, whatever. Give me it. If that means I can
just
go
like
watch
mutate
games,
you, like gives like another eye or something.
young healthy people mid March, perfect. That's why I like to see Yusuf. I'm just hoping. I don't know. Like we talked about before, if they tell me that if I get the Coco vaccine and I have a card that says I have it and I get to go to sporting events,
Yeah.
I'll like pay for 3 of them if I have to.
Also, for anyone who's like wondering why we're not talking about the Super Bowl, we're gonna do that on Friday.
Friday.
You don't think you have anything going on?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm pretty
With
free.
Yusuf, if
Yes,
you're still
sir.
down, I know you said you're free Friday, so we can get a Super Bowl preview with you going.
Yeah, we'll get a full show talking about that. But
And then we've talked about this in the past, but we want to get a giveaway,
yeah.
Super Bowl giveaway going too.
Yep. So make sure you're active on the social medias and see what exactly that's going to be coming up pretty soon.
Yep.
But we kind of wanted to be able to get into a little bit. The MLB offseason has been actually fairly active.
It's been long. Like it's not like the NBA or NFL where everything gets done in like a 2 or 3 days.
Right.
MLB's like when we like you just have to be patient with it and just like kind of just watch everything just.
It's been super spread out.
Yep.
So it doesn't seem like there's been as much, but there really has been quite a bit that's happened.
Oh yeah.
And sadly for us Mariners fans, it hasn't been us, which is weird.
But that was expected.
Active.
That was expected for this offseason. So
right. And that's part of the plan and everything. I really hope that we still make a couple more moves before the season. But I mean, we've got like a full list of free agents that have been signed, trades.
There's a big rush, honestly, because we were kind of waiting for just like that George Springer move to kind of just get the market going. Yes. I think that's what happened because we saw lots of things happen after that.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah. The one thing that I've been really excited about as a Mariners fan in general is I've seen a whole lot of AL West teams not retain their free agents and not really have gained very many. No. Like I've got this supposedly is it's from CBS, but it's the top 60 free agents and it's their tracker. And so it shows who was their last team, who their new team is and all that kind of good stuff. But one big thing was that I was actually thought was pretty cool is Tanaka turned down a lot of money to go back to Japan. Because that's where he wanted to be. But super excited, like Briar says, super excited for George Springer to be gone. Like he hasn't
killed the Mariners. How many leadoff home runs did we see him?
I think
just,
every game
crush it over. Like, I think over left field deck. Every game,
like,
probably. It seemed like it.
If people want to talk about Mariners killers, like he was one of the top
Trout,
ones.
Springer.
It's
honestly
unreal.
like
because Springer's numbers weren't great last year. He definitely had a down season, but he like if you took just his Mariners numbers, I guarantee you he's hitting over 500 with like 27 dingers. He just goes crazy.
I kind of look that up now.
But while you looked it up, you lost. So we lost George Springer from our division. We lose both shortstops from California. So we lose Simeon has moved on to the Blue Jays also with George Springer. So that's kind of cool.
Good.
Liam Hendricks is gone from the A's. So there's a back-end bullpen guy that is gone. We don't have to see him anymore. Mike Minor is gone from the A's. That's another starter that they lost to the Royals. Corey Kluber is gone from the Rangers. He went over to the Yankees. La Stella, who actually I would also mark down as another Mariners killer. He played everywhere and always killed us with his bat. He went to San Francisco. Robbie Grossman went from Oakland to Detroit. And there was one more that I thought I saw that was... Oh, and Andrelton Simmons left from
I saw that.
Anaheim, and he went to Minnesota, I think.
Minnesota, yep.
So like that's a whole lot, and like I'm looking through this list real quick, and I see so Jose Quintana went from the Cubs to the Angels, but that is the only team that I see over here in the top.
That's just like a signing anyway. Quintana was out. He was out all of last year. He only had like 2 starts last year, I think. So
yeah, I wouldn't put Quintana. Michael Brantley did re-sign with the Astros, which was kind of a bummer. I was hoping to see him leave a little bit too.
I thought he was going to leave, honestly.
But I mean, that's a lot of power from our division that is now gone with supposedly a resurging Mariners and supposedly a pretty high-powered Mariners team coming at them, if not this year, the next year. So
Mm-hmm.
that's pretty exciting. And one thing that's really kind of exciting, and since Chu is still on the market, and they said that he's probably not going to resign, but it would be kind of cool to see. We're talking about trying to find somebody that can fill a little bit of that outfield role and kind of be a placeholder for somebody, but also just a bat, and they want some power and maybe a certified DH and all that stuff. Like, it would be kind of cool to see them bring back Nelly. Even just a 1-year deal. Like, let him
put him where though, just like DH him.
Just let him DH so that those other guys can just.
That kind of takes at bats from like Ty France away and stuff, though.
That is true, but I was thinking like if you have a serious DH, then you could just let those guys continue to rotate through those spots that we're not really quite sure about. Like right field before we pull up Kellenic, heck, left field. We're not quite certain there. Second base, we're not quite certain there. I think that we're going to see a lot of Ty France at third base this year. I really think that they're kind of starting to feel him for maybe that third base spot. But also I've heard rumors about Noel V. Marte being transferred into a kind of a third base role.
This is another guy who we picked up. He's a local kid. Austin Sheldon. You ever heard of him?
Oh, really?
Look him up.
Wait, did we pick him up or we've had him?
We've had him.
We've had him. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
He was at Everett last year.
Yes.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and they're high on him, but I would just like
Marte. I would love but that's
I would like to see a star power
early as 2023, but
probably 23. Yeah,
but the free agent class in 2022 is a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
You have guys like Chris Bryant, and then if Francisco Lindor doesn't get a deal done with the Mets, which he probably will.
I assume so, yeah. But yeah, that's crazy.
It's a big free agent class.
I mean, and talking on that too, like not only has there been some pretty big free agency signings. I guess I actually didn't even talk about the big free agent signings, but we can recap some of them real quick. We kind of touched on it, but George Springer has now gone to Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
Now they have a high-powered offense in the outfield, along with their young infield. And we'll even put more on that too, because
this lineup looks good.
Yeah, I mean, because now you add Simeon at shortstop too, which I think we talked about it. I think they're looking at moving him over to third base, which would probably put Vlad more in the first base.
So what I'm seeing is Simeon's going to be second, and Vlad played first base last year, actually. He was already moved over.
Okay.
So Simeon's going to play second, and they're going to move Biggio to third.
They're going to move Biggio to third?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is such a solid infield.
And that's the thing. Like, you kind of people kind of focus on like Bichette and Vlad as being the big guys, but like there's some sleepers on the team like Teoscar Hernandez and Gurriel.
Yep.
Both of them are solid bats.
And both of those guys can be in the outfield split between Springer. So Springer can be in the in center field, and those two can be in the corners. Yep. That's a super high-powered
outfield.
Yeah. And then you've got the likes of like James McCann went over to the Mets. The Mets made a lot of big moves this summer, this offseason, sorry. So that'll be interesting to see what they do. Jock Peterson goes to the Cubs. A lot of relievers changed some new looks. Liam Hendricks went to the White Sox. Brad Hand went to the Nationals.
Charlie, Sox guys, watch out for the Sox.
No, seriously. Charlie Morton goes over to the Atlanta Braves to bolster that rotation even more. I don't remember, though, if Soroka is going to be back for the season or not.
Soroka. Is that the...
That's the young kid. He, injured his forearm or something.
That's right.
Yeah. I can't remember if it was Tommy John or not. But there's there's been quite a few big free agent signings. Carlos Santana, that first baseman that we had for, a day or something like that.
We were talking about Isaiah Campbell earlier. We got a draft pick back from the Indians, and that's what we used that pick on Isaiah Campbell.
Yeah, so I was pretty excited about that.
Pretty good, yeah.
And then Kirby Yates went over to the Blue Jays also.
Blue Jays, yeah, and then did another reliever sign with the Blue Jays too, or was it just?
I thought Yates? So. He must not be in the top 60. Whatever.
Yeah, the Blue Jays did sign Robbie Ray though, and they also just traded for Steven Matz too. So they have a lot of options in that starting rotation. I'm looking at 7 solid options to put in that rotation. They might go 6-man. I know a lot of teams are starting to move over to that 6-man style.
They're looking for it. Do you think they would let us borrow one?
Maybe.
That'd be cool. Just like a
I
little
think
bottle for the
Jerry can
season.
make a call.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But there's been a lot of free agent off season
And
signings,
there's still a
but
lot of them still like out there too.
there's a ton of
Yeah.
them. Like I was saying, that top 60 list, there's probably only 20 of them that had deals and all that stuff. So there's a lot out there. But I know what Brooks is most excited to talk about: the trades that have happened this offseason.
We love to see it.
Like, what are people doing? Is it just me, or have you looked at the receiving ends of some of these blockbuster trades and gone, what?
Okay, so we got Arenado. What was the other one again?
Lindor.
Lindor. Yeah.
So here's a
The
list
package
of.
wasn't as bad in that one though.
I'll give you a list of this is the list of the winter's blockbuster
Okay.
trades.
Maybe.
So chronologically, the Angels go and acquire Raciel Iglesias, so the closer from the Cincinnati
That's
Reds.
big for them because their bullpen was bad last year.
Yeah, that was pretty big.
Yep.
The White Sox go and get Lance Lynn from the Rangers,
That's
so
all
that's
pick
another
up.
pitch
That's
for them.
good. That's good.
Nationals went and got Josh Bell.
Yeah.
Padres get Blake Snell. And in the same day, the Padres go and get Yu Darvish.
That's
Like
right. Yeah, the Padres made big moves and didn't even have to give up either of their top 3 prospects.
No.
So they're keeping that huge farm system there.
Unreal. Yeah. And CJ Abrams, the shortstop that's coming up for him.
CJ Abrams, and they still got Mackenzie Gore too, who's doesn't even
another
have a spot.
Pitcher.
Doesn't even have a spot in the rotation right now because they're stacked now.
But that's another like they have 2 shortstops that could be like if Tatis hadn't been done with his prospect list, like he would be number 1 and all that kind of stuff. The Mets go and get Francisco Lindor. The Padres again acquired Joe Musgrove from the Pirates, which he had a solid year. Like I wouldn't say that's like great breaking ground, but and then the New York Yankees go and get Jamison Talon from the Pirates, and then last but not least, the St. Louis Cardinals get Nolan Arenado for the washer and dryer and maybe a shirt off of somebody's back.
See, like the
plus $50 million.
The returns on these other ones, like they were like solid, but this one was like
bad.
What are you doing?
Like they gave the Cardinals Nolan Arenado and $50 million.
You probably could have waited. You probably could have waited even till the trade deadline and get a desperate team. Like I know that like, they would only have him for half a year because he's an opt out after this year, right?
I'm assuming so. Yeah. Probably. But I don't know. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
Because that one, they got 3 prospects out of it. I think
it was 4 prospects and
4 prospects.
At best, it was like the Cardinals number 9 guy.
If I read correctly, there was not a single one in the top 100 prospect list.
No, there wasn't, and there's only one guy in their top 10.
Like, dude,
and you paid them too.
Yeah, like I don't know about you, but I think that's possibly the number 1 third baseman in the league.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
If not number 1, he's in the top 3. He's top 3 third baseman in the league
easily.
And you don't get above 100 prospect. You don't even get more than one of their top 10 prospects.
It's like they got so desperate just to get rid of him that they just took whatever they could get. And
like, did the Cardinals have blackmail on the Rockies or something? Like, did the Rockies mascot go out and have like a drinking spree like Lamar Odom or something, and like they had pictures of it and just held them at gunpoint or something? Like,
honestly, yeah. What else could it have been?
I don't know, dude.
It's really like makes you question the culture down there because like they really can't put anything together ever.
No, like that's tough. And I saw because this article's main title and big idea to it was which chip falls next. And they have a couple listed, and they say Chris Bryant has been a big talk in the offseason about getting traded possibly this offseason still.
Did you hear how he said like he didn't have fun with the game last year? Did you see that?
Yeah. I don't think a lot of people had a lot of fun with the game last year. But I'll give them that. But I've seen there's rumors here of Trevor Story not being happy and possibly saying because he's going in the free agency and all that stuff, telling the Rockies that he's not going to extend. So it'd be smart of them to go and trade him, because if he's not going to extend or re-sign, like there's no reason not to get rid of him. You've got Sonny Gray and Luis Castillo pitchers from the Reds that they're possibly looking at moving. Josh Hader still in talks, but nobody's pulled the trigger yet on him.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're asking for a little bit too much maybe. But one of the big ones that I was like, oh man, that could be crazy. There's possible talks of Jose Ramirez.
I mean, if they got rid of Lindor, you might as well get rid of the other one too.
Like, are they just going with the Miami Marlins look right now or something? Like just gonna get rid of everybody and completely restart? Like what
I
is the
mean,
I
it
don't
might be the
understand.
best move for them though, honestly, because they just haven't been able to get that. And like these guys are getting older too, because I think Jose is up to 30 now at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lindor's
I
probably
think he's 29,
I think
yeah.
Lindor's 28.
Yeah.
So I mean, if they just like starting, hey, like we can't get over that hump, no one's wanting to come here. It's just time to just kind of just like reset.
I guess so,
It's
but
kind of a
like
bummer because like it would have been cool to see that core of Indians win
yeah.
a World Series. And if it wasn't for the
Yeah.
Cubs that year, I think they would have. Like that was their year.
Definitely. Yep.
Um,
And that was a good core with the Cubs too, and it looks like
exactly.
they're starting to
At
look
least
at
they
the
got that
2020
one
now.
though. Like in
Yeah.
Chicago, that whole team is just gonna be loved forever, just like
Yeah.
for ending
Oh,
the curse.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, like going back to free agents, you still got Trevor Bauer out there.
Yes. Yep. And I think he was number 3 on the list.
And
Nobody knows what he's doing.
well, he's gonna get a 1-year deal because he made a deal with his buddy. Did you see that?
No, I did not.
He made it. He like when he like first came into the league, he says, if I don't sign a 1-year deal, in my first year free agency, you get to shoot me in the balls with a paint gun.
I did not see that.
You didn't see that?
But I had seen from him, I think via his very interesting relationship with his agent. Like that's kind of weird. But from what I understand,
he's an odd
is that
guy.
he's possibly looking at doing 1-year deals like for the rest of his career kind of thing. Like he's betting on himself.
Interesting to me.
He's basically saying I'm good enough that I'm going to continue to get better and
just
I'm
go
going to
where I want.
more money.
Yeah.
And I think he also knows how the business works. Like with every single year you see higher and higher contracts. So if he signs the max that he can sign right now, in 4 years, that's not the max anymore.
It's just so risky with injury and stuff. Like
it is
one pitch and you could just be done.
But he is so like if you've ever watched any of his little Bauer outage stuff and all that stuff, like his little vlogs and everything that he does, he is so confident in his training, his regiment, his self in general. Like he truly believes if there is a single person that I thought had like a god complex to them, it would be Trevor Bauer. Like he truly believes he's untouchable.
He's such an odd dude. Like
he is.
He's an odd dude, and like he was one of the most vocal one in the talks of like beginning of this year with like the COVID stuff and the MLB. He was one of the most vocal ones, and at first it was kind of like, all right, yeah, like that's dope, and then it started to get kind of annoying in my opinion.
Yeah, at the beginning, it was kind of cool to be able to see into the actual thoughts of an MLB player through all of the stuff that was going on. It was like it's like holy cow, like this person is just like it was kind of like I'm not gonna get super political, but I'm gonna get a little bit. It was kind of like when Trump became president at the first, like he didn't talk like a politician and he just kind of said it how it was, and it was like, this is kind of cool. Like this is kind of nice. And then he got like really personal and stuff, and it was like, okay, like tone it down. Like
that's what made people want to vote for him at first. It was like he was just like this different guy.
Yeah.
And then he started just go completely psychotic on us.
Yeah, it was a little too far, buddy. But Bauer's the same way. Like at first it was like, oh, he's kind of like giving his insight, and like we never thought of these things. We just thought of like, dude, go play the 162 games and let's go. And then all of a sudden he started throwing a lot of shade and a lot of mud, and he started slinging a lot of stuff and throwing Manfred into the dirt and all that kind of stuff. And it was just too much.
I'm kind of looping around back here, but it almost seems like he's just leading this charge of the player union. Of they're going to disagree with the MLB no matter what.
Yes.
Like if they could give him the best deal ever and just like here's so much money, you guys get to do whatever the hell you want, but they'll still say no just because I feel like they have so much pride and just like
yes.
I don't know what it is. Like
I agree.
They seem very very into themselves and like they're the best.
Because I thought like I was looking through some of the details and I thought it was actually a pretty solid proposal from the MLB.
Proposal. Yeah.
I get the fears or whatever you would say about having multiple double headers and all that stuff in the season. Like that's a lot of strain on older arms and a lot of strain on arms in generals and bodies, but like they guaranteed them their money. And what do you really think if they're looking after your safety and saying let's bump this back another month and see if we can get more vaccines out and all kind of stuff, like you don't think that if it came to that point where they need to bump it back again, like they wouldn't just like restructure the deal with you?
Exactly. Yeah.
But I don't know.
It seems like the MLB is more willing to work with them than the player union is more willing to work with the MLB.
Correct. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. But yeah, he's by far. I would probably say by far the top free agent left in the class.
Yeah, Marcelo Zuna's still out there too.
Yep, you have Marcell Ozuna, Justin Turner. Although he's 36 years old, he still was really
He's still hitting
productive for the
hard.
Dodgers at
Yeah,
third. Like we talked about, Tanaka ended up going over to Japan. Jackie Bradley Jr. is still a free agent. You've got Nelly Cruz, who would be a bat for
I'd
anybody.
love to see him go back to the Twins. Like I don't know why they just don't give him another 1 year deal.
I think they're doing the same thing that we did. Like they're
Yeah,
just like, no, he can't have another year. And I'm like,
there's no
come on,
way.
guys,
Yeah,
he's crushing the ball.
yeah,
James Paxton, maybe a return of the Maple Grove to Seattle to come be like a four guy for us. Like,
maybe.
I don't know.
I'm sad to see he's still like there because I think he's got so much potential still.
It's
Even
just
though
all
he
the
is 32,
injuries.
but he just gets hurt way too much. And
Yep.
I remember when we first traded him, like we were talking about, hey, 2021, that's when we're supposed to start competing.
Yeah, come
Maybe
back.
we'll bring you back. But
Yeah,
it just
so
hasn't worked out for him yet. And when he is healthy, though, he's pretty.
he's dominant, man.
Yeah,
He's good.
he's got
Yeah,
it.
he's you got him, Colton Wong,
He's
Yadi
been,
Molina is still
yep.
on the
Yadi
market.
Molina I saw is looking to go back to the Cardinals now that they picked up Arenado.
Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. And then you got the likes of Brett Gardner, Jake Odorizzi, Taiwan Walker, who I would love to see back in
I'd
a
love
Mariners
to see him
jersey.
back, and you can tell he wants to be back too.
Yeah. You got Walker, who's out there that could possibly make a return. You got Alex Colome, who could make a return, who could bolster a bullpen for you. Trevor Rosenthal, Jonathan Scoop, Yasiel Puig. I'm excited to see where he goes. There's still quite a few big names. Mark Melancone, like, or Melanson, I think is actually how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of big names that can make some splashes, and there's some names that can make some splashes with us without breaking the bank and without blocking. Like, there's a lot of bullpen and arm options out here that could really help us. Ken Giles is right here at the bottom of it. Like,
and they're even guys we can just trade at the deadline again.
exactly.
Yeah, because I'm seeing like Kirby Yates and Brad Hand be signed for like less than 10 mil. I'm like,
Yeah.
we have so much cap room. Why didn't we just do that? But it just could be like they didn't want to come here. If
Maybe.
you're a reliever, you usually want to be on like a winning team. If you're
True.
like a high reliever like that, so that's the only thing I see. But yeah, you're totally right. These are guys we can definitely bring on a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
Play up until the trade deadline. If we're not in it, get them out of here. But if we are in it, then we have veteran arms in the back of that bullpen to help carry us through, like hopefully to a postseason.
Like, you get 3 or 4 of these guys' arms in the bullpen. Like, I'm seriously thinking that we're in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the way through the end of the season, like we were when we had the Robbie Canoes and all that kind of stuff. Like, but they are the things that help us push us over that hump.
Then it's just all relying on our lineup developing and them taking that next step because we're still a super young lineup.
Oh, super young.
It could either go like so well and all these guys like because this is the year for a lot of them to like break out and prove it. JP, Dylan Moore, Evan White, Kyle Lewis needs to show us because he even though he had a spectacular 2020, kind of dipped out at the end of the year, so he's got to show us that like that wasn't just a fluke.
Right.
Mitch Haniger coming back is kind of a prove it year for him too to show us that he still got it.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that when we were talking about the outfield earlier.
Yeah. So
we don't need a right fielder. We have Haniger.
So there's a lot riding on this lineup to say, you know what, Jerry, we're here to stay. You don't need to sign anyone else. We got this.
Yeah, I like you said, like those guys, those older guys too, would be perfect plugins because if we have those growing pains again still this year, like we're really kind of expecting, and by the trade deadline, it's kind of like it's gonna be a far stretch for us. We would have to get really hot. You flip those guys, but if these guys, like some of the analysts are saying, and like Jerry's really confident in all that kind of stuff, and Scott's really confident in, if they develop as fast as we think they're going to, as they think they're going to, really, then those arms that we signed are the ones that help us push through that little bit of inexperience at the end of the season. Like, they're the dudes. And so I don't know what we're waiting for, but I hope it happens before the season. And if not,
he's going
whatever.
on such a spinning spree like after this season though.
I sure hope so.
He's definitely going to like trades. Like anyone doesn't perform this year, he's going to be like, get out. I'm bringing someone else in. I think. Yeah,
I would
and
love
then
to see that.
keep that core, and hopefully we see Kelnick too in the next two like in the first like 2 weeks of the season too.
Yeah, I think we're going to. I have some inside sources that say that we might. Don't say it. But I think it's going to be super exciting. I was seeing an article too. I think there's a lot of exciting parts of the Mariners in general, and I'll just drop this one last piece because I know we're going to do a full Mariners thing here pretty soon. But there's a lot of parts of the Mariners that people forget. Like I forgot about Haniger, and I'm not really sure how. I can literally see his jersey right there. But Luis Torrens, they said that 2021 is a huge year for Luis Torrens, which vice versa means it's a huge year for Tom Murphy too. If Luis Torrens proves to be an everyday catcher and can do it consistently back there, because I really liked what I saw from him at the end of the season, then maybe we move Tom Murphy. Or if Luis Torrens has a really solid year, then we keep going with both of them, and they're both good and all that stuff. Or if Luis Torrens has not a great year, we probably flip him at the deadline and continue to go with Murphy, because I think Murphy's going to be solid no matter what.
Yeah.
He's never going to be spectacular, but he's going to hit for a good average. He's so big, he's got some power to him, and he's actually a fairly good.
But they're not even supposed to be our main guys. Our main guy is supposed to be Cal Riley waiting in
exactly
the minors. So
exactly,
they're in a really good spot, and yeah, we can like get like more in depth with it when we actually do our full Mariner episode, though.
Right?
But,
yeah.
But
yeah, as of right now, the look is that we are on track for 162 games. Spring training is going to start when spring training normally starts. Is that when spring training normally starts? It seems late to me.
I think it's usually middle of February, right?
Okay. Yeah. So that might be right. I thought it's usually I thought it was like the last week or the second to last week of March usually the season starts, but whatever. That's on track. It's on track.
Oh, for like the opening day.
Yeah, isn't opening day usually like the 21st? It ranges like
26th to the 1st. It just depends on where the calendar falls.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So from what we've had planned out, we're on track to start normal. Spring training looks like it's on track. I'm seeing a lot of different, like they're selling tickets right now, guys. Like, who knows if in a month they're gonna refund people and all that kind of stuff. But like, my brother's in Oklahoma. He went to wherever it's called, Northern Oklahoma University in Eden or whatever. They won today. They had their first game of the season. So shout out Cam. That was big time. You got to see him. They have a live stream. He's coaching first base, so you get to see him run. And he's the hitting guy up there. And they had 5 jacks in today's game. And it was a Division I team that they played. They're a JUCO team.
And they won.
Junior college. And they beat them 8-6. And supposedly this D1 team is supposed to win their league of the Oklahoma, Kansas division, which was like, that's pretty cool that they did that. So they should fare well in JUCO. Anyways, besides that, my point was, I was looking at going down and visiting him and possibly driving down to Arlington and going and catching a game. And like, I was looking at tickets for, I think during like May or something like that. And I was like, I wonder if they have tickets. And they have tickets like from opening day in Arlington.
That's Texas though. We don't know what's going to happen up here though.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I'm not saying we're not starting the year with fans in it. Maybe. No. I don't know. Like there's a huge shift in this state right now. Like we went from stay home and stay safe to now like safely reopening is the big thing. And like we're pushing to get schools open, we're pushing to get businesses open. So I think there's a little bit of shift going on. And so you never know by April. But I don't know if we're going to start with it, but I really, really strongly feel like we're going to eventually at some point in time have some fans, and you're going to be able to come to games, and you're going to see your boy Brooks, and you're going to see your boy me. We're going to be dancing on top of the dugouts. We're going to be playing Deal or No Deal. We're going to be running on the field. We're going to be grabbing kids who decide to say Go Pirates instead of Go Mariners to start the game.
So the only reason why people come to the games, right? Just
only reason. Yes.
Okay.
To see the Navigators.
Yeah.
I still remember last year when somebody called me by name, and I thought I was like, I've made it. They know my name. Like, this is awesome on stuff.
Then you realize on your back
guys, my first name is on the back of my jersey. So it got me. But yeah, I'm super excited. The MLB season is close, guys.
Right around the corner. Pitchers Catchers Report, 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's going to be exciting. We get to go back to that phase of multiple sports on at the same time, because we're about to lose football, which we're going to talk more about on Friday. But then we get back to having basketball and baseball at the same time. I know it's not the most popular sports, but it's 2 sports at a time. I get to watch Dame Lillard on one side, and I get to watch. You know what? I'm so sad that I didn't think of him, but I am super excited about Mitch Haniger coming back. I'm gonna have to find my Hannibal sweatshirt somewhere, but I'm pumped. Like, it's gonna be a good season. It's gonna be exciting, and it's gonna be longer.
Yes, that's seriously like 60 games was not it. Not enough.
It was not enough.
Not enough.
It was not enough. But it was kind of fun though, to the fact of like I watched every single game, like probably pretty close to every inning, because I snuck my phone into like work and stuff with me all the time.
Yeah.
Because like every single game meant something. So that was pretty fun.
That was
about
pretty cool.
that.
That was cool. It was only 2 months, so you like every game did count.
Yeah,
We were
but
in it up to the
160
last week
views.
too, so
Yeah, it was super exciting.
Yeah.
And guys, it's gonna be a great year. I'm so pumped.
all right. Well,
So
that about
pumped.
wraps up today's edition of the I5
Yes,
Sports Ride. That was
yes.
a good
Did
one.
we did we get the? Oh, and for those of you that are viewers who love just listening to my sweet, sweet voice and Brooke's awesome voice, normally we're on Spotify, but we've been totally forgetting it lately, and so we're trying to get back on track with that.
And as long as everything worked out, this one should be on Spotify too.
Perfect. So if you're hearing our voice right now, it worked.
Yeah.
If you're not hearing our voice on Spotify,
We'll work it
next
out
week,
for next week.
next week we're gonna try and figure it out and all that
But
kind
yeah,
of stuff.
anyone who's watching right now, pay attention to our social medias. I'm gonna be getting the giveaway stuff out here soon.
Yep.
We don't know exactly what it's gonna be like, but I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we're super pumped.
Yeah, yeah.
And once again, like always, like we are super appreciative. Like we had over 6 viewers the whole time. Like,
Yep.
there's some of you that never left us. There's some of you that came in, came out, all kind of stuff. Like we're so appreciative of people coming. And
really,
I do.
Yeah, anyone who even comes in like stops for a minute, like that's
Who cares?
perfect.
Like
we love that.
Love it. Thank you. And obviously, we want to give a shout out because I don't think we had it. It wasn't set last week, so we did not say it. But our boy Briar, the Leaky Nut, on Twitch,
Yes.
is officially a Twitch affiliate.
Amazing.
Which I still do not completely understand what that means, but he can start making money now.
That's all. That's
playing
all it
video
means.
games.
That's literally all it means.
There's so many things that I'm learning, like subscriptions and bits and all that kind of stuff. But if you are on Twitch, I don't care if you watch him or not. If you have Prime, Amazon Prime, you get a free subscription a month. Please go give it to my boy. And if you don't have a free subscription and you feel generous, I think it's about $6 to subscribe for him for the month, and you get all these cool things. And then I know that I'm super pumped the next time he's on, I'm gonna give a bunch of bits because I found out a bit is only a cent, so I can make me look super good by donating 100 bits, but it's really only $1.
It's only $1, yeah.
Like, dude, this guy is killing it right now. He's an affiliate. Go and give him your subscription.
Even
Brooks is gonna get back in. Brooks is
back
getting back into the game.
NCAA 14.
Maybe some NCAA 14. I'm gonna be on again tomorrow, depending on schedule. I have to go pick up some flooring, I think, in Centralia, but wherever I can fit it in, I'm gonna be on. I had a lot of viewers for Mario Kart actually. It was
Did
kind
you?
of cool.
How many did you have?
I had like, at one point in time, I had like 10.
Wow.
Yeah,
You're
I
probably
had
like
10.
the only one like streaming that, honestly.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and I had like 10 unique viewers in general too, so it was pretty cool. And I got like 6 follows in that one too. And I met 2 people from Colorado in my chat. Like it was kind of fun actually.
Yeah.
It was. But yeah, for sure. Like we always appreciate every single bit of support and all that kind of stuff. I forgot to flash earlier a little bit of new apparel, a little blue on white action.
White, okay.
But every single interaction that we have with you guys, when you interact with us on social media, when you interact with us in the chat, when you just watch in general, like it's so appreciated because
it makes it more fun for us.
It makes it way more fun for us. And we really do, like sometimes it like we took that little span of not being here and it was like, oh, like it's not too tough, but then like we started thinking about the people who comment and all that kind of stuff. Like you guys brought us back.
You guys brought it back. Yeah.
You.
It's just fun. Like it's like having just like 6 people or 5 or 6 people in here. That's all we like could ever ask for.
Yeah, and like just think about it, guys. Like we're pretty good at what we do, so I really don't see us not blowing up at some point.
We're gonna blow up. No, that's like not a question.
You guys are the OGs.
Yeah,
you guys are the OGs.
Stuck with us from day one.
Absolutely. I love it.
Yeah,
for sure.
You want to sign us off?
Oh, I do.
I think it's time.
I do. Especially because my car overheated today, so I got to drive a theoretical car, and it's gonna work this time. But like, super appreciate, and we want to thank you once again for hopping in the back seat, the passenger seat. You're driving your own car, whatever it is. Carpool people, it saves the environment. You get to use the fast lane. 10 and 2, you put your seatbelts on. And you know what, guys? Thanks for taking this exit.